What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. A massive leak came out yesterday, and it's for a new Harry Potter game that actually looks pretty good. I've checked around and everything, and yeah, it looks very real. The real question is going to be now, when do we actually have it presented to us? We're going to get into all of that because it looks a lot better than I would have figured a Harry Potter game coming from WB, based on what we've known before, to look. And also, Toys R Us, they might not be gone just yet, so don't count them out completely. First, though, let's get into some quick news. We're going to start with Assassin's Creed Odyssey because people are already playing it. This is coming out this Friday, but of course, Ubisoft's doing that thing where you can buy in for the ultra deluxe premium amazing version, pay more, get it early. It's something companies are doing a lot now, and it's just an easy way for them to get extra money when the game should have been out Tuesday. It's instead coming out Friday unless you buy it. It's a whole thing in video games nowadays. But one thing that we knew kind of about was that there was going to be microtransactions. The question was, would the game play into those microtransactions? As in, would there be a grind and then it would push you towards it? Based on a lot of the reviews that I and many other people have been checking out, it does appear that there are quite a few spots in the game that makes you grind, basically a time sink, if you will, to get your character strong enough to kind of progress in the game. And thank you, Ubisoft, because you gave us a great out here. We can go buy microtransactions to boost our experience. Oh yes, you can check it out here. Actually, Tweaktown went through and detailed a lot of the different microtransactions. You could buy different Helix credits, as they call them, in $5, $10, or $20 increments. And you can see right there a permanent experience boost for 1,000 Helix credits, and then you also have permanent booster packs, all kinds of stuff that will help to boost and, well, I guess circumvent that time wall, that grind. This is the issue that I've had with things like Devil May Cry is the game actually kind of geared around those microtransactions to push people towards them? And of course they are optional. If you want to go through the artificial grind, you can do that, or you can spend some extra money, get some crystals, and boost your experience. Let me know what you think about that one, because I don't think that's good for gaming, but hey, I'm curious. Also, do you remember about that update for Stardew Valley we were going to be getting for multiplayer? I remember they talked about it for the Switch and the PC version and everything. Everyone's been wondering, where is that Switch update for Stardew Valley to enable multiplayer? Well, good news. It looks like you won't have to be waiting much longer, as you're seeing here on Twitter. Concerned Ape actually detailed that the Stardew Valley multiplayer update for the Nintendo Switch is now in QA, or quality assurance, and they're going to let us all know ASAP when more concrete info becomes available. Generally, when you're going through quality assurance, it's actually not that much longer until you get everything confirmed and you can set a date to actually drop this update. So this is exciting, because if you're a big Stardew Valley fan, you've probably been waiting for this multiplayer update. It's going to add like a whole nother layer to the game that is already a massive, addicting Harvest Moon style game, and it's a great game for the money. Absolutely. If you have not bought Stardew Valley and you kind of like those Harvest Moon style games, it's Harvest Moon, but better. So I would check that out, especially when that multiplayer update hits. That's going to be awesome to play multiplayer with that game. Oh, and check this out. We found out a little bit more about Crackdown 3. We keep talking about Crackdown 3 because Microsoft's actually been fairly quiet on this game. It was originally going to launch with the Xbox One X, and I think even before then it was going to launch at some point, a year ago after that. It was a whole thing. It's been delayed multiple times. We expected it to be coming out in February, and someone was actually talking to Phil Spencer on Twitter about it, and he actually talked about it as well on Twitter in response, saying that he has played a full build as of the other day, which is great, but he also talks about how he feels like there's just more work to do. And I guess this game's coming out in February. It's odd that there's still more work to do, considering they were mostly polishing it, but I guess that target window is still there for February. Here's the thing, though. If we get past this XO event and still hear nothing about Crackdown 3, whether it's an update or more gameplay or just a live gameplay session where they actually sit down and play it on stage or just to the media, if we don't hear about anything with it, if they never say Crackdown 3, I think there's an issue. And we're going to find out if it actually releases in February. XO is the event to talk about it and show it off more. And if they miss out on that opportunity, I don't know if Crackdown's coming out in February. All right, guys, some of the quick stuff out of the way. Let's jump into some of the bigger stuff. We're starting right away with this Harry Potter leak. At first, I heard about the leak, and then I went online and watched it and everything. By the way, if you show this leak in a video, WB is after you. They are coming to strike down videos from what I've seen. People have sent me messages. I've checked it out myself. Yeah, they're going around and they're pretty much pulling down videos. Once I saw that, obviously, it seemed like it was correct, and then a lot of sources came out, specifically Eurogamer, and then I also checked around myself. Yes, this looks to be absolutely real, so if you're a Harry Potter fan, or maybe you're just a fan of these type of games, specifically action, third-person, open-world, RPG-style games with full classes and everything, if you watched that video, it's very easy to find. It's not hard. You can go around and find it. I think it was even up on Reddit still as of this recording, so you should be able to go find it if you want. It's not super long. It's like a minute, maybe, of footage, but it looks like really good. Like, it looks like there is some actual budget put behind this thing. So there's still a lot of questions out there, but we did at least get some answers. Specifically, Eurogamer started putting out information. For one of the, I guess, the assumptions going around was that this is Rocksteady's game. This is the game that they've been making in the background since Arkham Knight. Not the case, though. That was dispelled by Eurogamer, and I can tell you that's also not Rocksteady's project, so you can breathe easy there. In fact, they actually showed up and said it's actually Avalanche. Avalanche is the one making this, not Avalanche that's making things like Just Cause 4. Avalanche that WB acquired, that was in 2017, and their last game that they put out was Cars 3. In fact, if you look through their list of games, they don't really have a massive, I guess you'd even say big budget. This looks like some money is really behind this, by the way, if you look at that video. This looks to be like their big shot. Like, WB picked them up, and I guess this had been being worked on anyway by Avalanche. They were like, let's do this. Let's put this out, because it seems that development had to have been going on for a little while with what they showed in that video. So this is interesting to see Avalanche take a shot with a well-known IP and actually putting some like legitimate gameplay elements behind it. Big open world, RPG. This is something that people have wanted from Harry Potter for a while, to actually put a developer that can make a game behind it. How good is that game going to be? We'll see, because other Harry Potter games that we've seen have not been this mature either. If you watch that video, there's some pretty violent stuff happening. It looks like it's going to be more of a geared towards more of an older audience, an audience that was younger when Harry Potter was really popular. It's still popular now, but like really popular as books were coming out, and have maybe grown up a bit. It looks like it's going more towards that audience. Now, the leak appears to be, from what I can tell and others have kind of speculated on, possibly like during a focus group, or somebody is in a lot of trouble, that's for sure. Somebody is, WB's after somebody right now. They're gonna find them, because if you're in like a focus group or a marketing group or something, they're asking opinions, usually they have you sign a paper that says you're not gonna go out and tell people, and if you do, especially with recorded stuff like this, they're going to pretty much sue you into oblivion. So somebody's on the run right now, and I don't know if we'll ever find out if WB has found them or sues them or whatnot, but this is very real. This is happening. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't even know when we're going to hear about it. At this rate, since we're in the holiday, I guess the earliest we'd hear about it, maybe it's an E3 2019 reveal. That would be interesting. I would like to see how people would react to that. Really, like I said at first, I thought it was Rocksteady's thing too, but no, that doesn't appear to be the case. And we're still waiting on Rocksteady. Video Game Awards, maybe? I mean, that's another studio with WB, so we'll see. Avalanche Software, though, taking a shot at a big budget, it seems, Harry Potter game, and we'll see how this turns out. Next up, let's talk about an Easter egg in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because Ubisoft wants to just keep messing with us, specifically probably me, because I want another Splinter Cell game, and once you know it, they put a Splinter Cell Easter egg in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I saw this on Twitter. Jez Corden kind of tweeted this out. You're seeing an image here where they seem to find the typical, what you'd probably see that's become pretty much iconic from Splinter Cell, kind of the Splinter Cell goggles, if you will, the night vision goggles there, and it even reads, looks third echelon, or is it fourth? Third echelon, of course, is the organization from Splinter Cell that if you're a Splinter Cell fan, you've known about third echelon for a while now, and they just keep doing this. They put kind of that Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell and everything in Ghost Recon. Now they're kind of pointing out the goggles and stuff here, talking about third echelon. I'm pretty confident Splinter Cell is being made right now, and they keep kind of just chipping away at our hope for this game. So I do hope this is something that they're ready to reveal maybe at E3 coming up, but they keep doing this. They keep telling us about Splinter Cell, keep reminding us about Splinter Cell. So how about you show us Splinter Cell? Next up, let's talk about an old game that came back to the PC, and now it's going to all consoles, going to the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, and that's Shadowgate. Do you remember Shadowgate from like way back in the day? It was on. I remember playing it on the NES. It was specifically, I remember playing it there. I think it was also on Mac. It was on the Nintendo 64. And it's recently, I think back in like 2014, came out on PC. It's kind of a reimagining of the NES, because I know they redid some of the NES music and put it in the game. So that does exist on the PC now, and it looks like they are, I guess, sprucing it up a bit and putting it on the Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. So if you're a fan of Shadowgate, this is something you're going to want to check out. It's coming out this autumn, according to them, and it's mostly just going to be that version, I guess, kind of moved over to consoles, which is really cool, because there are people who probably do have fond memories of Shadowgate, but you go back and play it now, and it didn't age super well. The PC version, of course, kind of brought it up to standards, and now we're going to get it on the newer consoles and, of course, on the Switch, so you'll have a portable version of the newer Shadowgate to play, and that's kind of neat. We'll just have to see when a date or what their pricing is going to be. I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks on PC, so we'll see what their pricing is on consoles, because generally you have to they usually have some kind of porting cost or something put in there, especially if it goes to a cartridge for the Switch, but this could just be a digital-only release. But hey, it's cool to see these old-school RPGs coming back. We talked about Langrisser coming back, Grandia coming back, and here we go, Shadowgate. And in our last bit of news, probably, to me anyway, one of the biggest shocks of the day yesterday next to that Harry Potter leak, Toys R Us isn't going away just yet. In fact, it looks like they're set for a revival, actually. I couldn't believe this one myself. I was positive there's a Toys R Us nearby. When it closed down, I was positive that was going to be the last time that I stepped foot in a Toys R Us or even see one anywhere ever again, because it seemed like they were going to bankruptcy and they were going to pretty much call it a day on the brand and everything. But no, they've actually canceled the bankruptcy filings, and it looks like they are rolling into possibly, I guess, building the brand back up and working to get retail stores back. And this was actually from the CEO in a statement saying, "Our objective is to work with our debt holders and other creditors to restructure the $5 billion of long-term debt on our balance sheet, which will provide us with greater financial flexibility to invest in our business, continue to improve the customer experience in our physical stores and online, and strengthen our competitive position in an increasingly challenging and rapidly changing retail market worldwide." And that's from Dave Brandon, the CEO and chairman of Toys R Us. And then the Wall Street Journal also went on further to report that the Toys R Us controlling lenders intend to revive the business behind the Toys R Us and Babies R Us brand names. And apparently their goal is to create new domestic and retail operating businesses. So I guess in their mind, they weren't getting enough for auctioning off the brand and everything, and they didn't want to go bankrupt. I guess they are trying to work this out, and they want to come back. This is amazing. I cannot believe this now. I don't know if this means that you're going to all of a sudden see a Toys R Us pop up in your area out of nowhere, because it's fairly expensive to do that, and they're working, according to them, down to $5 billion in debt. So it's going to take some work, but it looks like they're not ready to give up. Now, if Toys R Us wants to come back, I think there are some changes that they should be making, and I'm hoping they're listening to a lot of people. I think their stores were way too big. I think there was just way too much overhead there. And even Best Buy is slowly moving to smaller locations and stores. So I don't know if you need that much stuff in there, because I'm curious how much of that stuff never even sold and was part of shrink, which is basically either theft or it just never sells and you just get rid of it. So they'll have to be a lot more stringent with what they're buying and bringing in, but I would like to see Toys R Us come back. It was pretty sad to see that. We've even seen reports from like Wall Street Journal that it left an $11 billion hole in the toys industry. So I do hope it comes back. It's a shame to see these stores close down, and at one point we'll probably get to the future where there's just nowhere to go and you just order everything on Amazon. Although we're getting pretty close to that, because I think the Walmart near me now delivers groceries. So they just don't want you to go outside. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is Toys R Us. Maybe you want to talk a bit about how you're excited that it could be possibly coming back, that they're going to work long term to get some stores back out there and retail stores coming back for Toys R Us, because it was sad to see that going away. What about that Harry Potter leak? That seems pretty big. We don't know platforms or anything or release date. This was something that was not supposed to get out, and WB is not happy, but it's interesting to see this game kind of get out there even before they want to tell us about it, because it looks like something that Harry Potter fans have been waiting for quite a while. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.